Hello and welcome to yet another All For United. Yes, that's right, consecutive evenings once again. We had the preview last night, a great preview it was too, and we've just about avoided another banana skin. This one, I think by the skin of our teeth, we just about managed to crawl ourselves across the line, but across the line we are, and it will be Nottingham Forest or Bristol City in the next round away for us once again. As you can see, I've once again assembled a panel of absolute diamonds right here around us. Just below me here, we have the lovely Vicky. How are you doing, Vicky? She's muted for a start, so quiet would be the first bit. There we go. Try that one again, mate.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Enjoying your Sunday? Always love being on.
It's been it's a busy day Sunday for me, very busy, but we've got in, we're all sorted. I've minced down half my dinner, so we'll see how we get on. But that's all good. Lovely to have you here. All the way live from the USA is Mr. Big Johnny K, sat over there on the bottom right. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, very good. Thank you. It's been a wonderful day of results, not just in football terms. I'm a cricket fan and I want to congratulate West Indies winning Australia, winning at Brisbane, and also England. Tom Hartley from Lancashire taking 7 wickets to win the Test match in India. A magnificent performance. And of course, both men and women United teams won today. So all round a good day.
It's a good job you ended there with the Man United women, because I was about to finish that little segment off with a big old as I got bored over the. Yeah.
I was with you, Barry. I was like, why is he bringing the most boring sport?
But he pulled it back.
If you watch the cricket matches today, they weren't boring.
I think I would genuinely rather just sit in a dark room and watch absolutely nothing for a couple of hours and be alone only with my thoughts. But there we are.
You'd have been better off doing that and watching United than Barry.
You know what? I'd even watch them over that. I would watch Mourinho ball over that. So that should say it's just about everything. Exactly, Dan. And there, of course, as ever, the man to my left, who is, of course, the right-hand man, Mr. Dan. How you doing?
Yeah, I was just thinking then, when I speak about football to people, that must be why I sound like when John was talking about cricket then, because I didn't have a clue what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But they'll be cricket fans, and I think it's a wonderful day.
If
you're a cricket fan, today was a magnificent day. So, yeah.
It was
as long as you liked it, John. But
I loved it. It's like 4 results I asked for, which rarely happen, and it happened today. So I'm over the moon. So
to be fair to John, whatever happened in the cricket, I believe, has never happened before. Was a headline that I think I saw. And then quickly squeaked past. But of course, let us know if you want more cricket chat. Go somewhere else, basically, because this is not the place for cricket chat. The only 4 that we are interested in are the 4 goals that we managed to stick past Newport County. And of course, there too makes a good old 6. What's the sign for a 6, John?
6.
6, mate. When you score a 6, no, not the number you
cricket.
When you score a 6, they
well done.
A 6, right? That.
Should we bring on
Well, you said you like
7-year-old
cricket.
next
time. 6 runs. I see. Right? Yes, 6 runs. So, well, United men and women scored a combined 6 goals today, didn't they? So there you go.
Oh, John. See, I tried to help you.
You don't know anything, Barry, so let's continue with the show. What did you make of the performance, Vicky?
Oh, hello. Switching over. Pop over here. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what you've got planned, shall we?
Oh, my God. Anyway.
So, listen, what a game. It had just about everything. We said yesterday night that this was a game for the neutrals, because they were always going to love that. They wanted the opportunity for the minnows to get through. So, as Alex says here, Alex the Oracle, nice to see you, mate. For a brief 15 minutes, I thought it was possible to be the little team that could. I presume you must be a Newport fan. So unlucky we're not going to be sitting here rubbing your noses in it. That's absolutely sure. NT says, hello, everyone, but good day to you, Mr. Commodities. Sun shining outside of your window. And Benny, I believe, this has just popped
Yeah.
himself in.
Under 18s beat Leeds 4-0. And I think did the under 21s beat Norwich 4-2 at Old Trafford, I think.
Yeah, Mather's got 4.
Mather,
Hold on, I'm back again. Don't know what happened there. But there we go. 4 wins out of 4 this weekend. So well done, you lot, for carrying on there. And Connor says, quite rightly, we are not starting a cricket channel. So, listen, let's kick it off. Let's kick it off. The very, very first thing. 6 minutes in. Didn't take too long. Bruno Fernandes to put Manchester United 1-0 up. Anthony starting. So as we go around, you can have a little chat about
Oh, we're really going to talk about the Rashford thing.
We will do. So we'll do that at the end. Keep people watching. We can talk about Rashford first. You want to do Rashford first? Are you desperate to go with that? We're going with Rashford then. We'll kick on with the lineup. No Rashford. What I will say, Eric Ten Hag was interviewed beforehand, and he said very clearly it's an internal matter. He was asked the question 4 times, and 4 times he responded with it's an internal matter. So I've got 2 questions.
Let's keep it internal, shall we?
Yeah, I think that's what he's getting at. So question 1 to you all is how you feel about the lineup. Anthony being in, no Diallo, he was obviously on the bench, Pelistri on the bench, neither of them used. How do you feel about that? And also, if you were Jadon Sancho right now, would you be sitting there and wondering why some things are internal matters and other things are let's throw them out to the public? Because I'm seeing a bit of a disparity there that I'm not a huge fan of.
Well, wait a minute.
Go on, Vicky. We're off.
Rashford. He was told that he was ill. From what I've heard, and don't worry, it's not like I have massive internal sources. So, is that he was told that he was ill. He did not know about the whole strength of it all. But what I will say, can we just not get on with this? Like what Eric Ten Hag said, right, was that Sancho did not train well. And if you were late for training, then you didn't do it well. So that he didn't lie. He hasn't kept it like, out. It's just Sancho for his stuff out of pram. So I mean, it's not a player against manager feud thing as much as you want to make it out as it is. I don't believe that's.
And do we disagree with
that? Well, he's a bit of an idiot, isn't he?
Which one? Who? Sancho? Rashford?
Well, sorry, both of them. So but I think, but Sancho. I mean, at least he turned up for training, and but I just think I don't know what to say about Rashford anymore. I think he symbolises a lot what's wrong at the club, I feel. I just think the power's just got to his head. Obviously, we praised him for what he did for school meals and that a few years back, but I just think he did this after the City game, and people can have the view, it was unwise and all that, but on days off you can do whatever you want as a player. But the thing about professional sport, when you get a day off, it's meant to be a rest day pretty much. And yes, you can I get that he's gone to see his friend in Northern Ireland. I mean, I don't know when he's home, but we've been not played a game for 2 weeks, so I don't know why wouldn't he go the week before? Let's say when we wouldn't have a game, that kind of thing. So I just think it seems a bit odd that it shows that he's not taking football seriously, because this is a big week. We've got 3 games this week with Newport, Wolves and West Ham. It's like you're only going to have 1 day's training prior to Newport or 2. And I just think it shows, and I wouldn't, if he was putting in great performances every week and that, but I think Rashford has had questionable attitude, and I believe that after the incident in October, after the derby, it's his birthday, can go out, no problem, but I know some people have said he's been going out constantly this year and he's not exactly put performances in. So is he got personal issues? I don't know. I don't think he's taken the game as serious as he ought to. I think That's got big problems. We had an issue with him 2 years ago under Rangnick. I'm convinced when he said the club need open heart surgery, I'm convinced he would have meant Rashford because he was poor that year as well. And I think now, while he has scored a couple of goals and assists the past 6 weeks or whatever, I still don't think he's taking the game seriously, and he really needs to sort his attitude out, because I think if Ineos are serious about reaching the top and that, I don't think they'll stand for this, and Rashford might eventually see himself on the way out, but it's not a good look.
Well, it seems to me it does put, Sancho may not train well, but Rashford hasn't put any effort in all season. Life to the manager are more culpable than Sancho, in his opinion. And Rush has said Rashford thinks he runs United. Where I'm going at with the whole Sancho / Rashford thing is that you either defend your players or you don't. And he didn't need to say that Sancho wasn't training well. He could just say, he didn't rate him for the match. He thought somebody else had done better. There's positive ways you can put things. You learn this as teachers. You can put things on a positive spin, or you can go for it in the negative way.
But Barry, we already...
One second. And if John's saying, about the whole not training very well, not taking the game very seriously, going out quite a lot, it's just interesting that that's being defended as an internal matter, as opposed to being said, well, he's not training well either, because he could have said that as well. Go on, Vicky.
But we're forgetting the fact that he already had tried with Sancho. We are forgetting that he already tried with Sancho. He took him away. I honestly believe on it. I don't know. Can we not move on with the Rashford one? Because otherwise we could talk about it.
Talk about Rashford. I was talking about the first goal. I was very happy to him that came in.
Yeah.
I do say hello to you. Say hello to Stu.
I just think I do agree. But I think that's the other thing. Whether you believe rumours or not, I don't think Rashford, him and Sancho are good friends, and maybe he's not taken kindly to the way Ten Hag has treated him, and I think Ten Hag and the club need to calm down on Rashford. I personally think that comment, he thinks he runs the club. I'm not sure about whether he runs the club, but he probably feels a bit untouchable, like he's seen as a hero, Manchester
new
born.
contract.
I think it's about time someone popped his bubble, I reckon, and just say, no, you're not taking it seriously. And I think the view, and I think a lot of people stood by Rashford, and many of us have for a long time. And I think most people now are actually saying you're mugging us off now. It's interesting, his PR team have said nothing since that news story broke out 24 hours ago.
We are talking about his brother as his agent. But 1 second, can we just say, can we just send some well wishes over to Stu, because he hurt himself at football today. So hope you feel better than my YouTube husband.
So just have my
going down. So we've checked in with Stu. He's all good. But yes, he does need to be getting better. So hopefully he's watching us with a pint in his hand and his foot nicely rested up. Dan, obviously with no Rashford in the squad, like we said, Anthony was chosen. And we're going to move on to the first goal, because we do like to keep Vicky happy here on this channel.
I do just want to say something on Rashford. Rashford was called out by Ten Hag earlier in the season after the Man City thing. Ten Hag did say in public it's not acceptable. And then Rashford apologised and then got back to training. I think this is some of the issue we have sometimes with this club in particular. Everything's so deep. Every action, this seems to be a massive overreaction. So there's one going off on Twitter at the minute. Ahmad has liked to tweet basically that says, if you're not going to get a game time against Newport, come back to the club that loves you, which is Sunderland. And he's liked this tweet, and it's spiraled into, he must have fell out with Ten Hag, he wants to leave.
You can't just like it like I would. I would if someone said that to me. I go, I like that because that's just funny.
Well, I'm sure he's got fond memories of playing for Sunderland, so that's probably why he's liked it.
Honestly, this is why footballers probably shouldn't have social media.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. It's the overreaction to it is massive, absolutely massive. And it's the same happening with Rashford. Look, he's made a poor choice in midweek. He's then made a poor choice towards the end of the week. In my opinion, he's been dropped today. He's probably going to get fined. Now you say to him, you make it back up on the training pitch because you've lost your place until you do. And then it's up to Rashford if he sees a future. I agree with what John's saying in terms of maybe he's got a little bit too big for his boots. The issue is, what's his motivation now? Because his motivation to be a footballer isn't winning trophies at the minute because he's hardly done that in his career. So his motivation must be money. And if it's money, he's not going to get a higher contract anywhere else anytime soon. So he's achieved that. And this was Sancho's problem as well. What is the motivation going forward? Because this club's not going to be winning massive trophies within the next 3 to 5 years. Well, hopefully maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, but for the next couple of years, they need players that are going to knuckle down and get us back up there. So you can sort of question his what does he want going forward? And if this is what he's showing, we show him the door. That's what a ruthless club would do.
And I think that he might well. And I'll just make a brief point. That banner that appeared on the TV, Rashford, can we have 1 week of your wages? The Newport supporter. Honestly, we wouldn't do it, but I would fine him a week's wages and give it to Newport. That's what I would do. You know, it wouldn't happen, but that's what ought to happen. So fair play to that Newport supporter today. They're quite right.
All righty. Well, we're going to go back to deja vu. So we're going to take it back to around about 4 minutes into the show. And here we go again, take 2. So the first goal, 6 minutes in. The ball comes down the left-hand side. Anthony playing instead of Rashford with him out of that game. Anthony made great move down to the left-hand side, to be fair. You know, we've not said a lot about Anthony that's been positive this season because he's not given us a lot to shout about. But that movement, incredibly good. And he gets his first assist for the club this season with a good ball back to Bruno Fernandes, smashes the ball back down to the goalkeeper's right. Goalkeeper, no chance, really. Very good finish. A great start. The sort of thing that United wanted. You're thinking at this point, surely we'll go on, get a few more goals. So the question really, 1, what do you reckon to the finish? And 2, Anthony, is this the start of him kicking on and seeing him do something? Or, and I very rarely repeat things that Adrian Durham said, has he just found his level? What was it that was going on? Because that was a very interesting performance. We'll kick off with Dan.
So, I mean, sorry to move away from the subject.
Wait, is that right?
But apparently, it's been reported that Mikel Arteta has informed his entourage he might be leaving.
Who's reported
it? It's some sport thing, but they're quite reliable.
Sport thing? We're taking that down.
Yeah, honestly, it's there. All the big boys.
I'm going to check this.
We just said, and
if that's not a reputable source, I'm deleting that comment. That's very naughty.
Xavi leaving Barcelona. All we need now is to confirm Pep.
Well, my phone's blowing up as well. So
yeah, everyone's starting to report it now. So it could possibly be true. Anthony.
Oh my God, what's happening to the Lego head of football?
It's madness. Yeah, I personally thought Anthony played really well. I don't think
he's never got to do with anything.
Who?
See, that's a good one for women's fans. They'll enjoy that. Anyway, crack on, Dan.
Is that the lady that plays for Spurs? Is it? Am I right? Yes. Anyway, yeah, Anthony. I thought he played really well. I get what people are saying about the level he's playing at, etc. It's Newport. But I would point you in the direction of the other players that didn't play well around him. At least he was doing something. He was getting on the ball. He was tackling back. He created big chances. Yeah, there's a couple of occasions he should have crossed and he didn't cross when he should have crossed. Same can be levelled at Garnacho, Fernandes, even Højlund on occasion got wide and couldn't get the ball in when he should have got the ball in. Is it Schutt's recovery for a performance against Wolves, whoever we've got next? Probably not. I wanted Ahmad to start over him. However, he 100% was top 2 players on the pitch today, and he should get credit for being one of the top 2 players on the pitch today with what he was doing. He wanted the ball, he was pushing us forward, and without him, we wouldn't have won the game. So for me, I thought he was really, really good today, even though I probably wouldn't have picked him from the start myself.
There we go. I've checked your little bit of news there. It's come out from Diario Sport, which is a Spanish-based news organisation. 2 million followers. Quite a people pay attention to them, and it has, of course, been mentioned through Stretford Paddock as well, who,
Well, are they a Madrid one or a Barca one?
Barcelona.
Xavi leaving?
Yeah, Xavi leaving.
Yeah.
Arteta could go there.
Oh, yeah, maybe Arteta's off over to there. Who knows? Anyway, this is the Man United fan channel, not the Arsenal one. So we're going to walk away from that conversation very quickly. And John Commode, for what feels like the 50th time on this first question, Anthony, with a great bit of effort down the left-hand side, any danger we can talk about his assist and how he got on with that one.
Yeah, well, we've been running through 21 minutes live now, and we were 2-0 up by this point in the game. It was a really good goal, and it struck again, Dan. It's the third time this season where I've been driving back from church and was scored before I got in.
I've told you, you've got to stop watching.
Everton, Hoyland against Tottenham, and now Fernandez against Newport. So I know what mass to attend in the future. So, but for me, it was good that he went on the left. Maybe he should play there permanently, and or at least whenever he plays. And it was a really good finish from Bruno, and like you say, it was an excellent start to the game, and we're gonna march on, get a second goal, and then maybe score 5 or 6 possibly. So, but yeah, it was a very good start to the game and a well taken goal.
Absolutely. And Vicky, over to you for this one. What did you make of Anthony's assist there? Because again, the movement for the goal was sublime.
So the first goal, yeah? Are we still on the first goal? Sorry.
We're going to get to the first one very soon because that deserves a fanfare. All of its very own. It's not interrupted.
It does. It was actually just nice to see a little bit more creativity where everybody's not just like having to worry about open wide areas and trying to maintain that. So I think it's just been a great opportunity to actually see Bruno play a bit more confident. It seemed to give Anthony, even though I could go on about the love-hate relationship I have with Anthony and Garnacho in this particular match, where I did think they were quite creative at some points but extremely selfish at other points. So but no, definitely it was just nice to actually get a quick goal then for once as well, and it not being the opposition in the second half.
We should all take a moment if anything was going to get a breaking news, this one should, because we found the one positive post that's come from Twalumba. It's here. Here it is. It was a good goal, the cutback. Love that. So loving that from Twalumba. Well done, sir. And he follows that with OMG, as if he's almost realised what he's done. So that was quite cool. Second goal came very, 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 very quickly after that, just 7 minutes. I counted them, 4 stepovers from Diogo Dalot, who looked like it was like when you play FIFA and then there's a bit of a glitch. I was just constant, and then eventually sorted himself out again, pulls the ball back, and Kobe Mainu, my goodness, just the absolute skill that he's put in there. This kid is something else, isn't he? We're going to go back the other way around. Vicky, what did you make of Kobe's performance and a goal to top what has been a superb start to his career?
First goal, excellent. Just as per usual, it's just simple, it's skillful, and it's actually quite world class compared to the players that are surrounding him. For such a young lad, just hope it doesn't get lost. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. To be honest, at this time I was at my friends were here, so we were just I was just trying to serve their. I go, well, I didn't expect them to score another goal so quickly. So I saw the highlight bit, but I didn't see the whole thing. So excuse me for being a poor person today.
No, it was, John, I think, just a superb goal from Kobe. Talk to me a bit about how you feel he settled into that position, because there are lots of fans now that are saying even if we had every player fully fit, he should start. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been very good since coming in. He has had the odd game where he hasn't played great, but I just think that we hope so, Stu. And basically, I think that that he looks like a natural in his position, and he's for someone who's young, he's not far off the complete midfielder. I don't think, and he's just got to get that experience, and he doesn't look like a fish out of water, and I think he deserved his goal today. I thought that he's outshining a lot of the team, and if anything, you'd say he's probably been one of our best performers this season. He had a pretty good pre-season, and obviously he was injured. He missed about 3 to 4 months of the season, and I think they've only played twice together, Maine and Casemiro, and it was was it the Arsenal, the Madrid game in pre-season, which was when Mainu got injured, but he looked good then. And I just think that he needs a bit of experience. And, ideally, if Casemiro could get back into form, he will go up levels. He could learn from him. And I don't think Casemiro was particularly good today. But I think Mainu has been a shining line, what has been a very, very inconsistent season. And, I'm delighted that as much as everything else that happens today, we should remember today is hopefully the first goal of a potential, a great player going forwards, hopefully. So, well done to him.
Dan, Benny says here, Kobe Mainu is the best academy player since Ravel Morrison, but unlike Ravel, Mainu will make it to the very top in the highest levels of the game. I think the biggest compliment you can pay Kobe is probably that he doesn't look like this is his breakthrough season at Manchester United. He looks like he's been playing in that position at this level for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, Benny will be able to tell me as well. I'm sure that's his first professional goal today. So that was it was an incredible goal for your first goal as well. I think Benny's spot on there, to be honest. He is one of the best coming through. I just hope we need to wrap him in cotton wool on the pitch and off the pitch. We need to keep him grounded. And to be fair, all the reports that come out and people that talk about him, he does sound like he is down to earth and he's sort of level-headed and he's not getting above himself. I think it's literally the biggest compliment you can pay that he was better than Casemiro by some distance today. I was looking at some of the stats. I think he won 100% of his ground duels today, which is massive. We was talking about fighters in the team being able to fight in a game like that against Newport, and I said we probably only had Martinez, but he proved today that he's one of them, that he can fight for the team and really get in amongst it. So yeah, I thought he was excellent as well.
When you say 100% of the ground duels, you know how many it was?
I'm going to go for about 7.
So it's just interesting because, there could be 1 and then that can be quite a misleading thing.
I can find it.
If you wouldn't mind, just write it in the chat. It's just nice for people, and to know what they mean.
I do agree with Dan that he's just, you look at the money we've spent and all the players have a lot more experience than him, and they just... They look like they don't have a clue what to do with the football, and yet here's someone from the academy, 18 years old. He reminds me a little bit of Paul Scholes, not saying he'd be as good as him. Hopefully he'll have a similar career to him at United. But he reminds me, when he gets a ball, he knows where it's going. And I think that's the biggest compliment I can play him. There's many players who receive the ball, don't know where they're going to go. He has a picture in front of him. And I think that's where I'm talking about. As young as he is, I don't think he's far off being the complete player, complete midfielder. I just think he needs to adapt his game at times and that kind of thing. But I think he's got all the attributes to be a top midfielder. And I hope, like Dan says about apparently someone he listens to his coaches and everything and does what's asked of him, Not many of our players do that, but he's one of the few. And if you listen to your coaches, you understand what your role is. It's not complicated. You know, people talk about tax and all that. It's not about that. It's football's simple, and he keeps it simple. And that's what you need to do. He just needs a better team around him, and you know we're going places with him in midfield. I'm convinced.
Fair point. Harry's brother's in. Niall, hello. How you doing, sir? Evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Well, then came a moment. I say then, it was about 25 minutes later, so it wasn't like it was very shortly afterwards. But we had a Newport fan in right at the beginning, and this is what he said. I was ecstatic at the corker from Morris. Then to have Evans equalised, let's say, didn't feel like we lost despite the scoreline. So we are going to take a moment just to look through those goals, because, I mean, let's have it right. That was an unbelievable finish. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, you've got to sit there and just applaud that. I mean, I watched it and I just went, well, what's he meant to do at that? Obviously, based on everything we said last night, my eyes were massively on Bay India and his role. Nothing he could have done about that. There was nobody saving that. Stretch Armstrong wasn't getting that one. So when you look at it, it came from an offside. It was Anthony who got the offside from a Bruno Fernandes through ball. Free kick was taken. Casemiro heads it away. Unfortunately, doesn't go anywhere. Now, at this point, Bruno Fernandes is on Morris, but he's a couple of steps away. And at first, I'm like, well, Fernandes should be closer to Morris. But then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, actually, Cass is about to head it. You'd expect Fernandes to be trying to get a yard or two ahead so that he could get the ball on the counter. So I crossed out poor from Fernandes and went, no, actually, that's just a bloody good goal, because Morris gets the ball. It hasn't quite gone where Fernandes wanted it to. And then what a shot. It obviously comes off of Martinez's head, which was not ideal. But, I mean, we've got to take a moment just to say, whatever happens, that's one of the possibly all-time great FA Cup goals. What say you, Vicky?
What, the first goal?
Their first goal, yeah, not ours.
I know. I was listening. Well, it
We
just
have got
looked like
past
it was
that
just.
finally.
I was just thinking, like, it just couldn't have been helped by the looks of it.
No. I don't think but it was good, wasn't it? I mean, it was one of those where you
Yeah.
look at it and think, if that was in the Premier League.
The magic of the FA Cup, like in a nutshell, really.
Exactly.
That's, you know, and, well, okay, guess you should want a clean sheet, but you just do want something, don't you? You just want a bit.
Absolutely. And then it did, John. It pulled them back into the game when they were probably a bit deflated at 2-0. They're thinking it's probably going to be it. We spoke to Kieran last night. He said if we get the first goal, the chances of them coming back into it were slim.
But the second goal is what made that the magic of the FA Cup.
Yeah,
you can't have the first goal without having the second one, except from who doesn't read the script on the on the second goal. They go, guess what? Man United don't come back into the second half very well. So the first thing I want you to do is score, because is that the third or the fourth time?
It's up there. We've done it a lot of times. There's no doubt about that. But John, we talk about Ronnie Radford's goal for Hereford years ago. It's not quite going to have the same level because Ronnie Radford won it, but it was a blinking good effort, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great strike from him, and I don't have any complaints. I have many complaints about today. Okay, Casemiro said it wasn't great, or Bruno could have been close, or whatever. The chance of that going in, he won't score another goal like that in his life, probably, and it just happened in the FA Cup, then he'll be remembered for it. And but I mean, just what a strike. And yeah, it took a deflection, Martin. It might have helped it towards the goal, but I don't think there's not a lot you can say. It's just a fantastic goal. If it was our player that scored it, we'd be reveling about it, But when cup ties, it's what makes the FA Cup great. You can be comfortable or you can be, and they're a great leveler. Cup ties, doesn't matter what your division is, and sometimes you just got to put your hand up and say, well, what I was disappointed with after is I think it spooked us, that goal, and it got the atmosphere up. And again, this season, we showed that we caved in a little bit whenever we have a bit of a misfortune, particularly away from home, and that's something I'm sure we'll address. But take nothing away from the strike, it was a brilliant goal.
Dan Bryn Morris was not one of the people that was really mentioned last night, but up he pops. And the thing that got me was the goal as well. He barely celebrated it. He walked away as if he was just quite an angry man. You know, he was just like, see, have some of that. And he was just quite nonchalant about the whole thing. You know, almost as if he was just walking away from a punch-up. But it really was. I hate to labour the point. Probably the best goal of the game, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a brilliant goal. I'd be interested to see how Bayindir got on, even if it didn't take a deflection, because he hit it with some power. So it was travelling, so it would have been difficult to save either way. I was personally a little bit disappointed with Shaw or Martinez, depending which one you want to blame. Once Casemiro lost the header, they should have been out quicker. I think it will get picked up on if you like nitpicking on it. But it was definitely the best goal of the game, and it swung the momentum. I actually thought from that moment, we lost complete control of the tie. Well, not the tie, but the midfield. And it sort of went away from what we'd done well for the first 35 minutes. Once that goal went in, then big gaps started to appear. And Kieran, that was on last night, was saying how they would press us in midfield. And I think once that first goal went in for them, that's definitely what started to happen. And we lost a lot of control in that midfield all of a sudden.
We did indeed, and we're like Scooby-Doo as soon as we concede. Okay, possibly. What about Scrappy? Scrappy never get mentioned. Or Scrappy.
If I was somebody wasn't on the pitch.
Well, I mean, again, Alex saying moments in there, I genuinely thought we were the best team on that pitch, and I can't be proud of them, and you should be proud. They absolutely pushed us to it. Now, second half. Obviously, Ten Hag had him in at half time. It's 2-1. Surely the first thing he's saying is, keep it tight. Don't let him get a chance to get back into it. See what you can do. Didn't happen. Took 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Shaw takes a shot. He has a shot. And again, this is the thing. It was clearly on the counter. First goal came from us being on the attacking position. It's a free kick. In it comes. Shaw takes the shot. Their goalie whacks out there. At this point, it's 2v2. Now, then I'm thinking, have we been slow getting back? But actually, we were at a point before the ball goes out to the left-hand side where we've got 6 players behind the ball and they've got 4. So, actually, it was 6v4 for us. Diogo Dalot was doing his very best snail. You know the one in Monsters University where the snail goes, I'm late. And he's got to run really fast. And he's giving it all that, but he's moving very, very slowly. Diogo Dalot wasn't there. And then that's where Stu comes in with brilliant cross for the second goal. It was a great cross, straight into Will Evans, who slid in. Cover your ears now, Vicky. Rafael Vieira Varane was the person marking said Will Evans. Doesn't get in front of him. Does get a foot to it. Doesn't matter. It's past being there and in. Go on, give us the defence for. I know you want to throw it in.
No. Next question.
Next question.
Have you ever? What kind of woman do you think I am?
Did you think it was a problem at that point? Because even after the goal, Newport did come out and probably had the better of the game for a little while. Was there a worry that we were going to be that team, a bit like Ipswich?
Of course not. John?
She's batting them away. I vote that you should do all management press conferences for both the men and the women.
They are trained.
I'm on that. So we'll leave you for that one. John, talk to us about how Rafael Varane should have been in front of Will Evans for that.
I can do it.
Would you like to take it? Would you like to take it? Huh? Would you like to inform everyone about Varane?
Varane.
I am right next.
I thought he was a bit slow to react to Evans. And I think that no, it wasn't. It was good movement from the striker, in fairness to him. So I will give him that. But I thought Varane was maybe slightly flat-footed. But again, yeah, it was a very good cross. But why does he have that much space on that side? Whoever you blame, Delo was tucked inside, and Anthony was nowhere to be seen.
And
So
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. But
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, this is how a husband. You know, he's a well-trained husband with the answer that he just gave out.
Me?
I dread to think what you're going to say about me in a minute, because I'm not going to be that well trained.
Yes.
But that's okay, because I doubt you might. He's a really good newlywed.
Yes, but I do think it was how easy it is to expose us is just criminal, and I just think that yes, it was a very good cross. I mean, if we scored that goal, we're saying a good cross and a good finish, aren't we? So you got to give credit to it was a good goal by them, but again, it's just like how easy it was to play against us. And I mean, Barry, if you do want me to answer the question about whether I was worried when it got back to 2-2, but I mean, I was a bit worried. I was actually messaging your husband, Vicky, actually, and we're both saying they're playing like they want to win, and I just felt like we couldn't cope with the atmosphere, and obviously we'll come on to the third goal in a moment, but they struck us a very good time just after half time, and I was worried that we I thought I thought we'd have enough to get it right, get a third goal, but I thought worse it might be a replay, but you have to say they were very good, and they capitalised on our vulnerabilities. And for whether you can say it's a League Two team, I always say cup ties are a great leveler, and you can't discriminate Newport because it's the biggest game of their lives, probably in their history. And they're in good form as well. I think you mentioned Barry last night. They've won a few games. They beat Wrexham, which is not that's basically like a Welsh derby for them. So they're in good form. And then
they're also on a high from a new management, aren't they?
Yeah,
or not new management, new owners.
Yeah, exactly. And they will be on the up, and and then they've got a cup tie against Manchester United at their own place. They're going to be up for it, and when you get goals like the first goal, you're going to get confidence. So I just think that while we were poor at times today, and we need to do better, a lot better, but it was a good, well taken goal by them, and I was worried because they were on the up.
They certainly were on the up. And I mean, Dan, again, it's one of those situations where, like we say, that the ball comes in, it could have been cleared potentially, but either way, they've got the bit between their teeth, and they had it there for some time. The atmosphere was unreal. I was obviously listening to the second half on the radio on the way back from the Stevenage game, and it honestly, it was like I was there. It was that loud, the noise coming through the radio. And I know it's a small grounds with the microphones, that's going to make a difference, but it sounded loud. Were you worried? Was there a point there? Because I was petrified that was it, that I was going to be coming on tonight and having to try and cheer up the world. But as it was, thankfully, we were able to do it anyway. But again, just brilliant from Newport to bring it level. And we said about the neutrals, it's exactly what the neutrals would have wanted to see after 47 minutes, the game back level, and it possibly going either way.
Yeah, to be honest, I had a little laugh to myself. But I've got to say that people are being a bit too easy on some of these players in terms of Casemiro and Varane today in particular. They're the players that were coming back in that were supposed to make all the difference, and they were the players hindering the team. I can't quite understand why Dallow's getting the blame for the goal but I suppose this is where people see football differently. So Dallow's gone to attack. There should be cover for him, and that cover should be in Casemiro and Varane going over. Varane doesn't go over, Casemiro doesn't go over, and Martinez is well out of position as well. So they're all three as a unit completely in the wrong place. And that's why there's so much space. So we're never, ever going to be able to attack up the wings like Ten Hag wants to if every time somebody wins the ball back, the cover's completely gone. And that is a tactical issue. And that's because, I mean, Casemiro this season, whether he's been fit or unfit or whatever else, I can't remember a decent performance from him. I mentioned it yesterday, him coming back in.
The League Cup.
The well, I mean, everybody played well that day. But yeah, it's an issue going forward. I don't think for a second, and I've seen a lot of people say this today, now Varane's back with Martinez, they are not our best centre-back pairings. There seems to be an absolute myth that they did good together. These two shipped 7 at Liverpool, 6 against Man City. They're not a good partnership at the back. They're all right in certain games, but as you've seen today, even with Casemiro and Kobe Mino in front of them, we've still shipped 2 against Newport. And arguably the second one, they're all to blame. There needs to be a massive step up from these players for the rest of the season.
It's a much broader problem, though, Dan. We ship loads of goals, whoever the defense is. Like,
so why?
Yeah.
No, but
So for example, like your favourite Maguire, for example, he's done well this season, but let's be clear, he's played in games where we considered Fort Copenhagen, 3 against Newcastle.
Yeah, no,
so you can't just say, oh, it's just them.
Yeah, but Harry Maguire's played, John, when Scott McTominay's played with Ericsson and Fernandes. It's completely different to 2 holding DMs being able to control the game from in front of them. And I'm blaming one of the CDMs as well. Casemiro had been bang out of form, so he's not helping Varane and Martinez, and he's not helping Kobe Mino. So he's a big part of the problem. What I'm saying to you is if this team would have started today that everybody calls our best lineup that's currently fit, or let's say the Marcus Rashford thing on the back burner, and we would have played Man City, it'd have been 5-0. And it wouldn't have even been a contest. If United are going to move forward, there needs to be a realization that some of these players just aren't good enough, whether they're good on FIFA or not. And that's the issue. I was really worried when it made it 2-2. I was basically laughing to myself that this is going to be an issue going forward, because I didn't know whether the players had it in them to make a fight back of it because of the crowd, because of the situation, because of the big holes in midfield. All it would have taken is one more long-range, powerful effort that managed to sneak in, and we was in some serious trouble. But they managed to pull it back. So fair play.
Well, that didn't happen. So let's move on.
I was going to say, that was a bit of speculation. So we given it the old, if they were there, would have lost 5-0 to Man City. I mean, you don't know. We could have won 2-0.
But we lost with the same sort of
it doesn't really matter. We won.
You can't blame Varane and Martinez when you can see goals now, and then not blame Maguire in games where we conceded 3. I mean, Maguire and Evans, you would say, possibly been the 2 best defenders this season that conceded 3 against City. So it's just, I agree, it's the whole team.
Yeah, but 3's half of 6, John.
Pardon?
3's half of 6.
Yeah, but that derby game you're on about, Varane went off. Injured, and he actually came off when it was
57th minute.
Second goal when he was off the pitch.
So I'll put it in a different way.
So what do we
since Maguire joined Manchester United, since we're going to go down the Maguire route, who's got the highest win ratio of any other centre back? It's Maguire. Maguire is literally ahead of Varane in every single statistic. But the problem is, and this is the issue, Varane's
I got to go.
Several Champions Leagues, so he's instantly better than Maguire. But when you look at it just at his United's career, he's not better than Maguire. But he's going to keep getting picked over Maguire and over other centre-backs like Cambuala because he's Rafael Varane, which is why if Casemiro is in really bad form, he's going to keep getting picked over Gore's gone out on loan, but over other players because his name's Casemiro. And why that keeps happening, this club is not going to move forward. It's going to struggle to beat teams away from home, like any team in the top 6. We're going to struggle just in general. There has to be a change consensus where, right, this
Yeah.
isn't working. We need to do something different. And we had a massive scare
This
today
is the
against
thing,
Newport.
it's
Just
the
gonna
same-
pause
If
you
yours,
two
if,
there,
if yours
because I thought
something
I just
different is putting Maguire on, right, and a very very young player, right, because apparently Varane and Martinez or Varane and Casemiro isn't good enough, right? If
So-
they're not good enough, what are you saying that they are? Are you telling me Maguire's? Are you telling
Maguire
me
won the
Maguire's
ball
not-
back on the halfway line to set up the break for the 4th goal
Oh, I've written that down.
Are we?
because he was
Are we
attacking the
being
ball
serious?
instead of dropping deep. It's about what you
But
see.
he doesn't. He doesn't scan.
He doesn't scan. What do
Maguire
you
does
mean?
not look. That head stays in one direction, right?
Maguire's got the highest pass progression of any centre back at Manchester United for the last 4 years.
Only because of the way that no. They play a completely different way just for Maguire and Maguire only. That's it. They don't pass in the ball from the goal line. They just don't do it.
Again, I've got to entirely disagree. Maguire and Lindelof were the only two centre backs that have played out
Alright,
from the
fine,
back for Man
fine.
United.
I think ultimately,
Barry, can we move on now, please?
That's just how debate works. We allow people their chance to finish what
I
they're
just
saying.
think we're gonna need a transformation in the centre half position, like other positions on football pitch. I can see both arguments in regards to Maguire and Varane, both are similar ages. I think eventually we will have to look to replace them both. If you're going to play
neither
with
good enough to
100%,
win the
John.
Premier
That's
League.
100%. But we can't keep on saying that
I
Maguire is
just
the
don't-
answer.
I don't
It's not.
think that. I mean, Maguire for the first couple of years in particular under Solskjaer was very good, and then Varane and Maguire. Then Varane came in, and it was that season under Oli Rangnick where nobody that was good. Last season, Maguire wasn't the first choice. Varane probably had a decent season overall. Maguire did okay when he played, and then this season, Maguire's probably been a bit better since he's played, but it's Varane kept a clean sheet at Anfield, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was more
So,
down to
so
Liverpool's lack of
we're on the
finishing than our excellent
Yeah.
football.
53rd minute. So shall we talk about the fourth goal?
Third.
Fourth goal, we haven't
we
done
on-
the third one yet.
Yeah, third.
Oh, have we not?
I was going to say, though, what NT said here. No, there wasn't that one.
No.
It was the other one.
Yeah.
It's moved down. There we go. It was this one. I liked it. Rand's played his first 90 minutes a long time. Leak has just come back.
Yeah.
It's a tricky game in the cup, so I don't think their performance today is something to base our opinions on too much. And to be honest, I
1000%.
agree with that, which is why coming to the third goal, again, very interesting. Anthony gets it. He scores a goal. But what I really liked about it was Mainu does the press to begin with. So he presses the ball when the goalkeeper kicks it out, wins a throw-in. And the throw-in does go backwards, but the throw-in ends up going to Martinez. Martinez gives it to Fernandez. Fernandez gives it to Anthony. Anthony pulls it back for Garnacho. It comes all the way back to Shaw. Shaw completely wrong foots his the defender, comes inside, nice shot with the right boot, hits the post. Unlucky. But Anthony, to be fair, however that ball comes at him, whichever league it is or competition he's in, has to sort his feet out, does incredibly well to do so, and puts us 3-2 up, arguably against the run of play at that particular point in time. I alluded to it earlier. Do you think that the performance that we've seen from Anthony is the sort of thing that puts him in line to be, in contention for a game either against Wolves or West Ham next week, or do we still feel that there are other options that could and should be explored?
Oh,
anyone say that? Because you've all been having a good old chat. So there's no.
Can you go first?
I'm not convinced that it's a turnaround for him. It's at the end of the day, it's Newport away from home. The only reason why I'm sticking up for him today is because without him, we wouldn't win the game. We would have struggled. And he was arguably the best player on the pitch. I thought Fernandes was the best player on the pitch myself, but he was up there in one of the two top positions. He was getting the ball, he was taking players on, he was doing well. I'm still not convinced he's ever going to be that guy for Man United. However, if you keep Ten Hag, you're going to keep Anthony because he's his player and he's a system player. So if Ten Hag can finally get his system working, then he's going to play for Man United quite more often than he doesn't. Again, I'm starting to think that Ten Hag's not going to trust many, if any, of the youth between now and the end of the season. We saw today Ahmad and Pellistri didn't even get a sniff. So I think Anthony will probably play there, depending what happens with Rashford. And it'll be Anthony, Garnacho and Rashford for the rest of the season.
John, you're answering that, but as has been said by NT, he didn't just take it well, he took it with his right foot, which
I was just about to
That's
say
what I was about to say. He done it with his right foot.
I mean, I didn't get the clearest picture today because my screen kept freezing everything. It was terrible. And I was messaging Vicky's YouTube husband again, Stu, and I said, did he hit that with his right foot?
Yeah.
So, yes, it was a very well taken goal. I think that, I mean, even though we got his assist in the first half, and I'm sure we'll speak about Højlund shortly, but I think the lack of service again was an issue. So particularly with Garnacho, and now he's young and that he'll come good, but today I thought it was awful. Let's be honest, he wasn't finding plays. He was taking too long on the ball. His crossing was poor, and there was a clip of Højlund getting angry with him. I think Anthony caught in a bit too often, but that's what he always does. But yeah, a goal and assist, it'll give him confidence. He scored a penalty in a behind closed doors game apparently to Burnley, so we'll just take it. That's what happened, and I did actually predict it. If I was to predict anything today, I thought Anthony would score today. I just had that feeling. So, he took his goal really well. And, it was obviously not the best performance in that. But I think when he scored that, I think we did settle a little bit more. And, it was good that he got a goal and assist today. But that being said, I think, will he start against West Ham and Wolves? Who knows what's going on with Rashford? I don't know. But if he is going to punish him for another game or two, which I wouldn't have a problem with, to be honest, he certainly got a goal and assist. I don't think he's the right player long term. I think we'll look to get rid of him eventually. But, hopefully he starts producing a bit more between now and the end of the season.
Vicky, anything you want to add to that?
No, it's nice to see him use his right foot. Obviously, yeah, it'd be great because what was that, his 600th minute without scoring a goal? I like him, but I don't really think he's a longevity. But everybody's right when he says about the Erik ten Hag thing. But the one thing I will say is extremely selfish. He is too selfish, and I'm just glad that we found his right foot today, because I was really seriously thinking that some operation happened and he had two left. So,
well, there you go. It was a good thing that he took it. We did get a fourth goal. It was in injury time, but before we even got to that, we had some very interesting substitutions. McTominay came on for Casemiro, which probably wasn't that interesting. That was likely to happen, I think, based on what we've seen. But Camboire came on for Shaw. We had Amari Forson come on for Anthony. Maguire came on for Martinez. And then after the goal, Evans comes on for Varane. People not used: Christian Eriksen, Amad Diallo, Tom Heaton, obviously, and Pellistri. So combined with the goal, which was very good, Forson gets the ball, has a good opportunity, can't quite get it past the goalkeeper, but the rebound comes to Hoyland, who finds a brilliant little gap and fires it in. So it's a double whammy, this question. One, were you happy with the substitutions, or do you think we should have gone with Diallo and Pellistri if we were going to put on late subs rather than changing defenders in a game where at this point we're only one goal to the good? And secondly, Hoyland again with another good goal and looking like he is starting to settle into some sort of rhythm in terms of being a little poacher in the box right now.
Barry, can we say that
go.
He I don't know why we talk about he's in some rhythm. He's our highest goal scorer of the season.
He is officially now. No, is he? Or is he joining?
Yep.
And that's why I say now rhythm, because now he's our top goal scorer. He wasn't, was he? He was good old Scott McTominay with his 6 goals.
Actually, he was the last game he played as well.
But Bruno was joined as well, wasn't he?
No. It's been 3 matches now.
Right.
Bruno's on 8.
You score more than one game in a go. You know, you start getting goals. That's a rhythm. That's a good thing. So
you're including the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
Say again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's that one then. John, what did you reckon? Substitutions, were they right? And what about?
I want to make a point about this because I've seen constantly from people I actually like on Twitter, and usually they're sound people who's like, why is he not bringing on Ahmad? Why is he not bringing on Pellistri? And I just like, it's like I see this with the women's team, don't we, Barry, on Twitter, and it's just like we always seem to focus more on who's not playing than who's playing. And I just get sick and tired of it. I mean,
100%.
I'm sorry, but why do people obsess about it? Why aren't you giving this player a go, that player a go? Well, when they have played, they haven't exactly pulled up trees. As Pellistri, when he was playing, did he do anything spectacular? No, he didn't. He did decent and all that, but he didn't. I didn't look at him as someone say, "Oh, he's our savior." He's going to be a world-class footballer, and I just don't get why people obsess about it so much. Focus on the team that's playing. And if they win, they've done well. That's it. I don't care who plays. I'm not going to say I want to see this, but I want to see a team strong enough to win a game, and then you move on. That's it. And I don't care what you make. Okay, there are times where I think we've been outrunning midfield. You might need to bring a midfielder on. It was good to see Forson get a game today and Campbell come on as well. Obviously, you had to rotate players. Casemiro's going back for an injury. Same with Shaw and Varane, Martinez, that kind of thing. I don't mind seeing rotation, when it's one of those things, and the comment about Varane and Martinez is right. Yes, he did concede Tuesday, which isn't good enough, but Martinez he's been injured for practically 8 months or whatever it is. So, you got to focus on these things. And Anthony, he did get a goal and assist today. Garnacho, I love Garnacho, but he had a bad game today. So I just don't get this obsession with it. And I just wish people would stop and focus on supporting the team and just getting on with it. And instead of focusing on who didn't get a game, it's ridiculous.
John, I completely agree with you because I get sick and tired of people telling me who and who shouldn't be playing and all this silly, stupid debacle about it. And then they go, they want to bring on the youth team. They want more youth. They want more youth. And you go, well, fine, you bring on to youth into a very chaotic Man United and ask them to go figure it out. They're not going to do that. And why would you put that responsibility on a very youthful person trying to take their opportunity to go into the Premier League? It's shameful, and I think it's wasteful. It's all this whole Bayern Deer debacle and all. Jesus Christ! Eric Ten Hag. You know Eric Ten Hag. You know exactly what his philosophy is. You know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to put his strongest team out all the time. Consistency, made clean sheets last season, and they continue to do it when everybody's fit and do it again. But it's their decision. It's not this silliness going, this cup's about putting on youth, and this if it's not Eric Ten Hag's philosophy, it's not going to happen. So
I've got
that's
to
what's
disagree.
so annoying.
I've got
Just
to disagree.
enjoy it. Oh,
we-
Before
really?
you
Do you want to
disagree, Dan,
disagree?
Before
said
you disagree,
Shocked.
Dan, I just want to point out what Connor said here. I think he was trying to be funny with you, John, because he said, but he should have brought Ahmad on.
Why?
On the Ahmad's, well,
Why?
I was just going to say, on this situation, Ahmad has done really well at Sunderland. He was a standout player for them. Instead, he chose to bring on Amari Forson. What would you have thought about that? Why do you think he went for giving a youngster the opportunity, which is, I've got no problems with it either way. I don't really care that much today, but he's given Forson the opportunity. And as you've just mentioned as well, something about social media and Ahmad liking that, you know, do you think Ahmad was maybe thinking he would have deserved an opportunity to have a go against someone like Newport?
I can understand his frustration. You will want to play a game, of course, but the job of the manager is to get results. And he
isn't getting them.
He brought substitutes on to see out the game and win the game, you know. And do you look at any of the subs saying those were the wrong subs? I mean, people who say, "Oh, he should have brought this on," and I get the point. He could have brought Ahmad on, of course, fair enough, but he brought the subs on when it was 3-2, and one of the subs was Forson. He went through and got us the fourth goal. So, if anything, the subs actually got us a fourth goal. So,
It's not about today, though, is it? You're condensing it down to one performance. Ten Hag's not getting the results. Where's the results?
He's getting he got the results.
We've got the FA Cup left because we've been knocked out of everything else. We're not in contention for the Champions League.
We're not the only football team in the Premier League to get knocked out of everything else, by the way.
Forson is a very good player.
What I'm saying is,
this isn't WWE. You don't go and like a tweet, get a load of hits, and then just be, oh, right, we're going to put you out for a match because we know people want to see you. This is bloody football. And then manager.
What did Anthony do for 29 games that got him picked over Ahmad, over Pellistri, over...
Well, Ahmad was injured.
Pellistri wasn't.
Ahmad has been injured all season.
Yeah, but I don't... The one thing I will say about Ahmad and
his fitness. So,
but
and we've
Pellistri,
only played 2 games this month.
Yeah, and Pellistri is obviously not in Eric Ten Hag's plan. It's just the lack of option that keeps him hanging around.
Right.
So let's not beat around the bloody
if that's the
bush
case,
here. It's very obvious.
No, if that's the case and these players aren't in his plans, etc., then
financial fair play and not having enough players.
Ten Hag has got to take it on the chin. Should he be sacked if he keeps underachieving?
No.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, yeah. I mean,
but I think Ineos are smarter than you when it comes to this way of thinking.
Today, he got the subs right. I mean, I'm baffled. Let me just have a speak for a second. No, let me just have a speak for a second, mate. Right? Yeah. You've had your say. It makes little sense to me what you're saying. So I personally thought that he got the substitution spot on today. You said that Garnacho didn't have a good game, but Højlund did. But Garnacho had a better game than Højlund.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He made the most big chances of anybody else on the pitch. He
was so selfish. He was so selfish. He wouldn't pass to a striker. He was like literally getting told off by Bruno and pissing off Højlund every 5 seconds because he's just taking selfish chances all the time.
So the shot that hit the bar, if it's a millimetre under, he scores, then it's 3-0. So it's the difference between a millimetre and not a millimetre. What I'm saying to you is his overall play in the game, he was more involved, he created more chances and had more time on the ball than Højlund. Højlund was a passenger for 75 minutes and then started coming deep and getting into the game. And that's where he got his goal from because he changed the way he was playing. He can't just keep making runs in the box and going, oh, they didn't find me. Can't do that as a footballer. You have to get on the ball and you have to get involved in the play. You can't just watch it go either side of you. Yes, they were selfish today, but Højlund wasn't better than Garnacho.
They've been selfish for ages. They've been selfish for ages.
I'm not a fan of stat sites in terms of player ratings, but Højlund was not higher than any of those two on any single thingy. On any single rating site, Højlund was not better. He He was not involved in the game.
Why are
to
you
be
going
better.
down to ratings? He would have
But
he
the
would
thing
have
is,
got a better rating if Garnacho and Anthony weren't so damn selfish.
if Garnacho had squared the ball to him in position where he was, then he
Then
would
who
have
gets
had
the
more
assist,
game.
John?
Pardon?
Who gets the assist? So a higher rating.
Pardon?
So who would have got the assist and then a higher rating?
What do you mean?
Garnacho would have got the assist for the goal. The one you're talking about was a pass to Bruno. Hoyland was at the back post when he should have been in the middle of the box.
Right.
So Garnacho would have got a higher rating for getting an
At the
assist.
back post in the box.
What do you mean?
You
So the
just said he
person-
was at the back post, so he was in the box then.
Yes, but he shouldn't have been at the back post. He should have been in the middle of the box
Well,
where
you know,
Fernandez was.
I don't know,
Tap it
but he
in.
was in positions, and there were times where he was at the near post as well, where we didn't square it to him and that kind of thing. So again, it was a lack of service. And okay, you can
Oh,
say,
no,
yeah,
I disagree.
it
I've
was
heard this
like
for like
it-
4 months with
Well,
Hoyland. We've heard lack of
Garnacho was
service.
not better than Hoyland.
Well,
He
we've
was.
been-
On every
it's
single
been-
rating site, he was better. He created more chances. He was on the ball more. He had more tackles, better passing
He
percentage.
didn't have a good game.
Literally
But
better.
you're
everything.
literally going under stat rating plays of things like that. Oh my god, it's just like you're still not listening to the whole entire point. He would have a better rating. He would have more goals if Garnacho would, and which is getting constantly mentioned, by the way, to
If
Garnacho.
Garnacho would have
Would
set up
stop
Hoyland.
making,
Yeah.
if he sets him
Yeah,
up
so
more,
Garnacho's
because he's a
rating
striker.
would have gone
That's
up
his
as well.
job.
And that would have been both would have had a high rating. Then Garnacho didn't do his job today. I'm sorry he didn't.
You have like ratings
Hoyland
really
did.
bloody
He
matter.
deserved his goal.
I disagree.
But you know what? It's just it goes on to being fish and
Okay,
chip
I am
papers,
going to have to
right?
jump in and say here that there's lots of us shouting over each other, and we're not going to have
Oh
shouting.
yeah, well let's do the move on then, because
Incredibly
it's
difficult.
ridiculous.
I'm sitting here with my hearing aids. I ain't got clues talking. So we're gonna calm this one down slightly. We're gonna take a little bit of Zen breathing just for a second. And we're going to ask a very simple question as we drive slowly towards the end of this particular show. Feel free, if you still have something that you wanted to say, to throw that in without anybody shouting out, so you feel like you've had your point heard as well. But Bristol City or Nottingham Forest coming up, do we have a preference as to who we'd like to face, or are we not really that bothered? I'll start because I don't want Connor having a go at me saying I'm fence sitting again. I'd like Bristol City because Nottingham Forest have already scared me once this season. I don't need them to do it to me again. Vicky, anything you'd like to finish off with what you were saying and your thoughts on the next round?
No. Oh, do you know what? It would be nice to beat Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest, okay. John?
Well, I want to get revenge on both Nottingham Forest for December and Gibbs wow when he said, "Oh, our players aren't up for it." Well, that's hopefully if we play them, we'll be up for it and we'll get a good result. But equally, Bristol City, because they beat us in the League Cup a couple of years back, didn't they, under Mourinho with the last minute winner? So I want a bit of revenge on them as well. So, but I'm not particularly bothered. But I don't know what would be the easy game. We've seen today that Newport League 2 gave us a good game. So Bristol City might be slightly easy on paper, but you know, I think if we have anything about us, we ought to beat either of them. So yeah, make the best team win.
Okay. And on to the important questions as well. Stu would like to know if that's an England top, John.
Yeah.
Which you've just leant back and showed.
First thoughts are Harry Maguire.
There you go. And Dan, lastly from you, anything you'd like to add? And of course, your thoughts, Bristol City or Nottingham Forest?
I would take Bristol City because we're not good enough to beat Forest away. I wouldn't back us going to the City ground and winning. They've already done us once nearly. In fact, I think they did beat us, didn't they? So, yeah, I would prefer the easier tie. Our away record's not fantastic anyway. So I'll be interested like what that score is, but I would want to avoid Forest at all costs.
All righty. Well, there we go. Well, I think after 75 minutes, that feels like quite a nice, calm way to leave our evening. We've all got work in the morning, so we can have a nice little go and have a Bailey's and settle ourselves down before we get into our beds, ready for the next day. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you all on. As we've always said, this is All for United. It is a place where you can be heard. Listen, we've always said it doesn't mean we're all going to agree. That is how football works. You've only got to go on Twitter to realise that. But as we always say, we try and listen to respectively to what everybody's got to say. And, of course, we just appreciate the fact they might have actual reasoning behind what it is that they are saying. And that is always the most important thing. So thank you. Thank you for those of you that are in the comments. Cheers, Vicky. Thanks, John. And to Dan as well. Keep your eyes on everything All For over the next week because we've got lots coming up. Tomorrow night on All For United WFC, we are talking about the rather wonderful win against Aston Villa earlier on today, as we managed to get a win at last, as it was starting to get a little bit depressing there for the women's side. So a nice little 2-1 win, 2 goals from Nikita Paris. She was only one off the hat trick that I predicted she would get. So that's 7 o'clock, All For United WFC. You can also go to All For Women's Football at 8:30, where we're going to be discussing the Women's Champions League. And Jess is hosting, and as kind of said, that is 100% a reason to come and watch. It's the first time she's ever hosted. So I think it's one of those, anything could go wrong will. And I'm looking forward to that entirely. It's going to be a great laugh. And I'm sure that she will do a fantastic job. Here on All For United, we should be back, hopefully, by Wednesday. So a nice little preview of the Wolves game, and then back again on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as we end up with a really busy weekend. So keep it on All For United. Get to your Twitter to see what it is that we're doing, and we will see you soon. Goodbye.